The Anvil Crucible conical is kind of an entry-level conical in my opinion, because the price lends itself to someone that wants to upgrade from plastic buckets or maybe like another stainless steel type fermenter such as the Anvil bucket fermenter, where they want to dump trub or harvest yeast or something like that. The other accessory that's made for the Crucible is their cooling kit. Now, in my initial testing on the Anvil Crucible, and I'll leave a card right up here for you if you want to check that out, I used it with a chiller, like a glycol chiller, and had good results. I didn't have all of the cooling kit at that time. I used the one off of the bucket fermenter. In this video, I'm going to share with you what comes with the cooling kit, how to install it, and also how it performs with a real low-tech solution, such as an ice chest with a couple of frozen 2-liter bottles. So I'm going to share that performance with you, as well as, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you a tip on how to use this thing in the wintertime, or for those of you that use the Kveik yeast, how to heat this thing up to 100 degrees. How's it going? My name's Brian. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you'd like to learn more about electric brewing, see how-to videos, and product review videos just like this one, consider subscribing. And if you do, don't forget to click that bell so you won't miss a video when it comes out. Now let's look at what comes with the cooling kit. In the cooling kit, you'll find a pump, the hose barb adapter, a debris screen, a trombone style cooling coil, the thermal well, and a stopper to use with those. You also get a length of clear vinyl tubing. Along with that, you also get the Anvil branded temperature controller. Also included in the kit is a wrap for the tank itself. And then the lower portion, the Anvil staff so affectionately call it the tankini. It is a triangle piece of neoprene with a hole in the bottom and a hole in the front. I'm not sure that it would be legal for any of the beaches that I go to, no matter what your gender is. Now, installation of the cooling kit is pretty simple. As far as the jacket goes, it's just a matter of wrapping it around, pulling through the latches and the handles, and then zipping it up in the back. The lower tankini, that is just a matter of taking apart the sampling valve as well as the bottom dump valve, take all that stuff off, and then it just slides over top of that, and then you reinstall all of those components with the cone-shaped insulation in place in the bottom. The pump is straightforward. It's just a matter of using the silicone O-ring and screwing on the hose barb adapter and then installing the debris shield. Now, you may want to heat up the vinyl hoses, because when I was putting everything together, I actually was trying to force the hose on there and jab my finger. You see it in the video here. And there's a little blood showing later, so you might want to warm up the hoses just to make them slip on easier. Once you get all the hoses on the pump, then you can connect everything to the cooling coil that is through the stopper. One point to note on the assembly of the rubber stopper for the thermal well and the cooling coil, you do want to make sure that the cooling coil outlet inlet is pointing out. So basically when you put it on, you want to put it upside down, opposite the direction that you want it to be whenever it's pulled through. So that's just one thing to note there. Not too bad. I usually spray some Star Sand on the stopper. It makes it a lot easier for you to push everything through. Install that, and then install the thermal well in the stopper. And then it's just a matter of sliding everything down into the top lid on the Crucible, and it does make a hell of a noise. So if you got cats or your significant other around, might want to warn them and let them know that it's going to be like nails on a chalkboard. So stainless steel on stainless steel makes a nice screeching sound, let's just say. I do want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, which is us, which would be www.shortcircuitedbrewers.com. I recently revamped the website. We've also got some new merch over there. We have two different styles of glasses, and both of them have the nucleations on the bottom. If you've been following us on social media or on our community tab in the YouTube app, then you know I've been working on some glasses. Those are actually here now. We've got them for sale on the website. I've also got coasters and stickers as usual for sale. So I'll leave a link down in the description, and also the first comment in the comment section. I'll leave a link to that down there. Go check it out. We certainly do appreciate your support. Now back to the video. Now, to attempt the low budget cooling, I actually used a very small cooler, and what I did was I filled up some 2-liter bottles and froze those in the freezer, and I did I think about 3 or 4 of them so I could rotate them around. And what I did was, for the initial cooling, I set it down to 38 degrees. I put in a single 2-liter bottle and then dumped all of the ice that I have from the beer fridge in the basement here. Dumped all the ice in there to help try to cool it down. And then just throughout the time period, just kept rotating the bottles around. And I did put 6 gallons or approximately 6 gallons of water in there. I didn't use actual fermentation, but I just tried it with water. I filled it up to 6 gallons just to kind of mimic having a completely full fermenter. And so what I did was I rotated those bottles around. What I did find was that I could achieve basically like 46 degrees. And if you notice, I have a probe from one of the other cooling devices on the Blickman chiller in the water, and it's showing 41 degrees. So between 41 degrees water temperature in the cooler, I was able to get 46 degrees in the actual crucible itself. That's pretty good. My basement runs about 65 degrees, so we're looking at maybe almost 20-degree drop in temperature, which I think is pretty good. Now, it's not lagering temperatures. You could ferment a lager at that temperature. I certainly do think that if you wanted to invest a little bit more money into like maybe some ice, if you wanted to dump a couple of bags of ice in there, I think this thing would get down into the 30s to do like a cold crash on an ale or something like that. But for just an ale fermentation, I certainly think it's definitely capable of chilling down, well below what your ambient temperature is and keeping you in that ale yeast range without any problems. Now, I promised a heating solution. Now, the heating solution is one that I've kind of touted for just about every fermenter that I have ever wanted to heat. And that is a $12 to $14 heating pad from Amazon. One of the things about heating pads usually on Amazon is that they have like a 2-hour shutoff. This heating pad that I'm speccing for this situation does not have a shutoff at all, so it'll stay on constantly. The way that you switch the Anvil controller over to heating is it takes an inordinate amount of time, it seems like, but you hold the set button down and you keep holding it for about 10 seconds and it'll switch from cooling to heating. It won't do both simultaneously, but you can do heating and cooling with the controller. And then I set it on 98 degrees. I slid this heating pad up underneath of the jacket for the fermenter, and I'm able to maintain 98 degrees, no problem at all. I think it would probably go higher than that. I just kind of stopped at 98 degrees because I figured that's probably about the top end, what you would do with like Kvike or something like that. But it held it no problem, and it's like a $12 solution, so that's not bad. If you don't like the heating pad solution, my friend CH over at Homebrew for Life just recently put out a video on using a coffee urn. I'll put a card up here to that video and link it down in the description as well. If you want to use the pump and the cooling coil to heat it, you can certainly check out his video and see what his solution was on that. But if you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. We certainly do appreciate it. Thanks again. If you subscribe, hit the bell. This has been Brian for Short Circuited Brewers. We'll see you on the next video.